Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newbold and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.
Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 74 of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim LT Van Stratton. With me is Rodney Newbold from his office. Rodney, happy Friday. We've made it.
Made it. Yeah, happy 74th episode, dummies, and appreciate you coming on this morning. And a little gloomy out here, but it's not going to ruin our weekend. We're gonna go forward. I don't know, I don't know, man. The weekend sports is just leaves a little bit to be desired. Obviously, the U.S. Open's going on, but I don't know. We'll talk about our team here in a little bit. It's not dead yet, but we're going to need some help today.
Way to lead the show of, hey, to talk about the sports weekend that I'm not excited about. Like, that's essentially what you just did. I mean, I don't know what more you're looking for. You have NBA Finals, you have Stanley Cup Final, you have U.S. Open, you have baseball. Like, what are you looking for? Not every weekend can be the NCAA tournament. Like, that's essentially what your bar is.
Yeah, I still got the NCAA post blues apparently going on here, but no, you're right. There's plenty going on. I guess I'd just like to see more finals action. I guess there is every day now, right? Because the NBA is back tonight, NHL tomorrow. Yeah, so at least we don't have one of the nights off. See, that's the worst. We've already had that plenty this last week.
Yeah, Sunday we don't have either, I believe.
But you get the final day of the U.S. Open there. Hopefully that'll be a competitive final day.
Right. So it's going to be a great weekend, and we're going to talk about it all. If you are joining us, watching on Twitter, watching on YouTube, first of all, give us a follow. But also, we'd love to hear your comments as well. Let's open up that comment section, that little show comments on stage, which I feel like would be cool if the comments weren't like infinitely small.
Yes. Yeah. I that's got to be something they fix, right? Like, nobody can read that. Nobody can read that.
No one can read it. Yeah. But also, like, it's meant when you have like thousands of comments from a bunch of bots. The problem is we don't have bots. Yeah. We have real authentic sports fans that listen to this show. Yeah. If we had bots and all of these like random accounts, then yeah, man, our chat box would be filling up. So it's give or take, whatever you want to do. But where do you want to start today, man? I saw that you masterfully prepped the show this morning. I believe you want to start in the NBA. Is that correct?
I mean, sure. I think we could go any of the three ways. We could go NBA, we could go NHL, we could go U.S. Open. We'll just go with the NBA. Pacers, man. I just I continue and me, I'm very, very guilty at this, and I think many of us are very guilty at this. Like, we just keep picking against them. And here they are. They've won 14 postseason games, and they're 2 wins away from winning the NBA Finals. And they're at home tonight with a chance to go up 3-1 in the series. And how they're doing it, I mean, we've discussed it over and over. But, like, here we are, 2 wins away, Indiana Pacers. What were their odds at the beginning of the year to win the NBA Finals? That's what I would have liked to have captured and discussed, because that'd be a nice payout.
Yeah, and you know what? I just saw it not too long ago. Oh, here we go. Yeah. All right. So preseason odds. Pacers were plus 6,600, which for perspective, like the 2011 Dallas Mavericks were plus 2,000. The 04 Pistons were plus 1,500. The 19 Raptors were plus 1,850. Previously, I think the largest preseason underdog to win was the 15 Golden State Warriors at plus 2,800.
Wow.
So by preseason odds, this is by far and away, this would be the most surprising NBA champion in recent memory, probably in the last 40, 45 years.
Yeah,
at least.
I'd put it in NCAA tournament comparison and say like an 8 or 9 seed here. 8 or 9 seed going forward and winning it all, because like that's around the range they're going to be. You know, they are in, but not an elite team. Yeah, so Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy
well,
payout.
Let's look at it this way, right? So in that NCAA analogy you just did, let's pretend that the 16 NBA playoff teams are all in one side of the bracket and they're all put in 1 through 16. So you take 8 from the East, 8 from the West, right? You put in bracket style preseason. Where would the Pacers have landed on that? Like we go through all the teams that we for sure say, yes, we would have picked them to win a title ahead of the Pacers. There's a chance that the Pacers are probably like outside the top 10 even. So this is like a 12 seed winning the championship.
Yeah. I probably would have originally put them around 10 probably. Just kind of thinking about where they match up. But I don't know, some of those Western Conference teams would have probably been pitted ahead of them. So yeah, you're probably right, more like 12, 11, 10, 11, 12 I think is a safe range, but
yeah.
That is crazy and something you don't see there. And 2 wins away from getting that. And the Thunder on the other side would not have been the one. I mean, they won a ton of games in the regular season, but they would not have been the 1 seed. It would have been Boston. So you're looking at like a 3 versus 12 finals here. So interesting to see what the Pacers are doing, and came up with another win the other night.
And the way that they're winning these games, like game 3, I think was a great example, especially in the fourth quarter. They won because they just played so much harder than the Thunder did. Like Pacers just seemingly have this next gear that they can channel at the end of games when you're supposed to be tired. They can somehow go in the opposite direction, play harder, play with more intensity, hit shots, make plays happen, where the other teams that they're facing are just running out of gas. And Redbird B-ball fan, what happened to Thunder in 5? Yeah, I think a lot of people who said the Thunder in 5 are feeling kind of dumb right now, both of us included. Is it fair to say that if the Pacers win game 4 tonight, they're going to win the NBA championship?
I mean, yeah, I don't know as if they're going to lose 3 straight. So yeah, I mean, up 3-1 with 3 chances to close it out, including 1 for sure at home. I think you could go that far. This is obviously a must-win for Oklahoma City in Game 4. Like, you got to get 1 there, and then if you do win 1, now you're essentially still in the driver's seat to win this series at 2-2. With 2 home games left. So, massive one tonight, and I do think so. If Indiana wins tonight, I think they're in big trouble. Thunder are in big trouble.
I got a couple fun stats for you. So the Pacers, if they win the championship, would be the first champions in NBA history that weren't a top 3 seed or the defending champs.
Okay.
So that you combine that with the preseason odds, they're very likely would be the most surprising NBA champion that we've ever seen. The Thunder, meanwhile, are now 0-8 against the spread on the road in the playoffs. The worst stretch for any team over the last 40 years. That to me is wild. And I don't know if you saw the spread. Actually, they were a 5.5-point favorite in Game 3. They lost Game 3. They're a 6.5-point favorite now for Game 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got to fire up Indiana as dogs tonight, especially at home. I mean, especially with that stat, 8 straight. Indiana has played real well. I gave the stat Tuesday. Indiana has played real well at home. So yeah, I think it's 5.5 down to 5.5 some places, but yeah, 6.5, 5.5. I think you got to take Indiana tonight.
Kind of, yeah. And then one other stat too. So teams in the NBA Finals. I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers on the Stupidest Sports Show, but I'm trying to keep them easy, right? Teams that are up 2-1 in the NBA Finals historically have won 81% of the time.
Okay.
Now there's a pretty significant caveat to that. A lot of the time that Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, it was still under the 2-3-2 format.
Yeah.
So that road team or whoever's up 2-1, like they just had a pretty big advantage. Under the 2-2-1-1-1 format, which is what we've had the last few years, including for tonight or for this series, the lower seeded team that is up 2-1 has not won an NBA championship. Keep that in mind. So the history, I guess, still favors the Thunder, but my eyes have me rethinking everything.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I think the number of not covering on the road is kind of arguing against your history there, though, because that's a huge one. Like, I mean, but statistically, like, you got to say, well, they got to get one, right? Like, they can't have 9 in a row, and then Game 6 they can't have 10 in a row, and I guess they could. Such a good team, 68 regular season wins. They've won 11 postseason, so they've won 79 out of 100 games this year. That percentage tells us, they should probably bounce back and win this one or win. But like, small sample size, all it takes is 2 more. And and then you get to like, what do you remember about Oklahoma City if they don't win this title? I mean, this is one because of how frail every season is in the NBA. Like, if this is one that really could hurt the Thunder if they don't win the finals, like, because there's no guarantee they're winning it next year. Yes, we've talked about how good they're going to be, and they're going to be the favorite or run of the favorites. But like, this is one they really need to get because they're playing a 5 seed in the NBA finals.
It will never be easier for them to win a championship than it has been this year. That's a fact. Like, we can't predict the future, but the chances are you're not going to be able to, have your total domination of the Western Conference. You're not going to end up facing lower seeds on your whole pathway to the championship. You're not going to end up seeing a situation where you're facing the 5 seed. What were the Pacers? Were they a 5 seed this year? Yeah. So you're basically, you go through an entire playoff run of playing a team that's no higher than a 5 seed. You avoid Boston altogether. You avoid Cleveland altogether. You have the MVP. You're in a situation with your roster construction where no one is making big enough money so you can keep all of your players together, all of the depth, like everything lined up perfectly for the Thunder to win this year. And if they don't, well, they're like, okay, well, at least we still have SGA. Okay, but you might have to sacrifice some of your depth pieces. You have to understand that there's teams in the West that are going to be much improved over a season. You might not have home court advantage the entire way through next time around. So it's all of these factors that went their way this year that just aren't going to go their way moving forward. So it would be an all-time catastrophic loss for the Thunder if they don't win this series. Because they're like, Rodney, outside of Pacers fans, there's not a single person on planet Earth who thought that the Pacers were winning this this year. Like, that should tell you everything you need to know about the Thunder. Like, there's so much pressure on them heading into tonight and for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and it kind of brings me to Redbird B-ball fans' message here. SGA looked defeated in that fourth quarter of that last game.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that side of him. Like, is doubt creeping in on Oklahoma City? Or is doubt, and how do you respond to that, especially on the road, right? Like, not going to be easy. 20,000 Pacers fans. Is Caitlin Clark going to be there? They're undefeated when Caitlin Clark's there. There are all these stupid things, but like, there is doubt now in the Thunder's mind. So it'll be interesting to see how they turn that around tonight.
Yeah, and Redbird pointing out SGA in the fourth quarter. I think he ended up with 3 points the entire fourth quarter. It was a -10 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
It was just bad. Like, he was bad, and the team looked bad, and the Pacers were just totally just out hustling them. They were getting offensive rebounds. They were getting second chances. There was ball movement. Like, I had Mark Daniel pretty high on my blind rankings last week, and I still think he's a good coach. But like, he's also getting out coached this series. Like, Rick Carlisle is making all the right adjustments, making all the right moves, and what a luxury, by the way, for the Pacers to where they can, even if OKC has all of their starters out there, where OKC can throw in Benedict Mathurin, where they can throw in TJ McConnell, they could throw in Obi Toppin, like all of these like reliable bench pieces. And not only are they hanging with OKC starters, but a lot of times they're beating them. They're beating them. Like that was OKC's advantage this season, and Indiana is now using it against them.
Yeah, Mathurin scored 27 points in 22 minutes on the court. That's wild to me. 9 for 12 from the field, 7 from 8. He was attacking the basket, getting to the free throw line. He was their top scorer. Right, like the bench is winning for Indiana, and we knew this was a possibility. Like we knew Indiana was deep. We knew they had players, but like they're beating them pretty good. Mathurin's plus minus on the game. What was he? He was plus 16. Obi Toppin was plus 18. So when those two guys were in the game, they were awfully good.
I've been so surprised by Obi Toppin the last few games. Like I didn't expect him to be this valuable off the bench for Indiana. He's making such a huge difference. But yeah, Mathurin's been incredible. And people forget, like he was a top 6 pick. He was supposed to be a very good player, and you're seeing why he was a high lottery pick this series.
Yeah, and now he's set himself up to get paid when that time comes and go be, not a world-class superstar, but a really prominent player somewhere when his time's up. So, the bench is getting the job done. And I think you're exactly right on Rick Carlisle. Like we knew he was a really good head coach, but like he's kind of running circles around Dagenham right now, and they're gonna have to figure that out here. I mean, they got like again, you said it, like tonight is almost a must win. So got to get it figured out before tonight.
Yeah. Rick Carlisle would be then the head coach for 2 of the 3 most surprising NBA champions ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Like I'm going to say, should it be a Hall of Famer? If he gets second in the Hall of Fame in basketball, I'm sure Rick Carlisle is already going to be a Hall of Famer regardless of what happens this series. But we're going to have some interesting conversations about where he ranks all time as a coach if he does end up getting a second championship with a second organization, and was a significant underdog in both of them. Like a lot of times when that happens, like it comes down to coaching. Yeah. So that's going to be a huge mark on his resume.
And doing it in Indianapolis, a hotbed basketball, like that, he is going to be. I mean, he can get the key to the city, right? Like, you think of Indiana basketball and all the legends there. He will certainly go down as one of those if they can win this. He'll go with the. I know Larry Bird played for the Celtics, but we know him from Indiana, from the state of Indiana, French Lick. Like it's going to be Rick Carlisle in the. I guess what I'm saying is Rick Carlisle probably goes on the state of Indiana Mount Rushmore for basketball, right?
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
And that's impressive.
You think so?
That's a basketball state. I don't know. I'd have to really look at 4 names, but I possibly.
Right,
I mean,
hold on. Off the top of our heads here, so Bob Knight would be on there, right? I'm sure that's one of the people that you had on your Rushmore. I think Larry Bird would have to be on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Who's the third one that you definitively want on the Indiana basketball? Reggie Miller?
Reggie Miller would be on there. Steve Alford could be a name that could be on there as well. I mean, Carlisle's going to be right up there with them. I'm trying to think here. I'm kind of blanking, but I mean, it's obviously a very hotbed for basketball. Those names.
Would you put Carlisle ahead of Tyrese Halliburton if Tyrese Halliburton was the point guard, the star player on the first ever Indiana Pacers championship team? That's not even something Reggie Miller could do. Reggie Miller led a lot of good Pacers teams. Like the Pacers were an irrelevant franchise. Reggie Miller gets there, and they were consistent playoff team. Like, and Reggie Miller was at the forefront of that. If Tyrese Halliburton ends up putting them over the edge, it's a good question. Like, this is where we need our buddy Aaron on, who's on the Indianapolis beat now at the Indy Star. He should come in and tell us the definitive Indiana basketball Mount Rushmore. That's a good topic.
I mean, Pacers. Okay, so Pacers win it all. We get Aaron on the show for a few minutes and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm good with that. All
right. Let's move to hockey. Trying to get through all of them here. Let's move to hockey. Last night was another thrilling hockey game. Edmonton went down 3-0, stormed ahead 4-3, went to overtime because of a late goal. 20 seconds left. And then
So
Edmonton 2-2 now.
Second time this series that we've had a goal in the last 20 seconds of regulation to tie it up and send it to overtime. I'm going to declare that through 4 games, this is probably the best Stanley Cup final in the last 25 years, at least. Maybe in this millennium. Like what more could you want, man? We've got 3 overtime games. We have these. So that means that 3 overtime games means that there's been 3 like walk-off goals.
Yeah.
Like golden goals, right? There's been tying goals in the final seconds. There's been like great plays from the big players on both sides. And the one game that wasn't competitive, you had a shit ton of fights, and it was just like total insanity. Like that's the one time that but like, so you can't even be like, oh, well, it was boring. Because like there was line brawls.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 overtime games and a line brawl. Like through 4 games, that is unprecedented. To me, that makes this like, and now we're gonna have the best of 3, essentially to decide the Stanley Cup in a rematch of a series that last year went 7 games.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
I agree with you. It's been tremendous, and it was kind of amazing because I think most people probably were counting the Oilers out pretty early last night with 3 straight goals. Like Panthers obviously came out right after them, but then like there obviously must have been a switch flipped because it went from 3-0 to 4-3. Like how do you give up 3 goals early and then just nothing after? Like you obviously tuned in, dialed in something there.
Yeah, well, this is probably something that we need to get in front of here. Stuart Skinner, they were sort of going back and forth with who they were going to put in net. They decided to keep Skinner in net. He allowed those 3 goals. He gets pulled for Calvin Pickard, and obviously he is great. He faced 23 shots. He made 22 saves. The one goal that he allowed was the one to Reinhart in the waning seconds of regulation. You kind of have to start him now game 5, right? I don't think you can go back to Stu Skinner. Like,
no, I agree with you. You're gonna you have to go that route, and you tell him, okay, here's your opportunity. You have
don't screw it up. I know you've been on the bench the entire postseason, but we're gonna throw you in there. Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final, best of 3.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck to you against the defending champs.
Again, the defending champ. Yeah, so I'm with you. I think you got to go. You got to go with the backup here. I mean, what is he? He's 33 years old, so it's not like he's It's not like he's a young rookie, young guy. But he's been around. Like he's got experience. Yeah. I think you got to go with him, and I would guess, and I know Stuart Skinner's not going to love not starting, but I mean, you got to understand. He's got to understand, right? Like we got to go with the best goaltender, and right now that's not me, and I think that's the way it goes. Dan here, I thought Edmonton was dead and buried down 3-0. I think everybody thought that, Dan.
Yeah.
After the Game 3 disaster, amazing resiliency and in-game adjustments. Came to the 4th line might have been the even more impact than the goaltending change. Yeah, no, I think that move and just their resilience overall says a lot for their staff and their players. Like, yes, they may end up losing this series in 6 or 7 games, but to come back and win this one, and then to not only to win it, but to win it after letting a last-second goal up, like that's really easy to come in overtime and just get beat, right? Like it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, the same thing happened in Game 2 where Corey Ferry was the one that was able to tie it up. The home crowd goes crazy. So as a visiting team, you're going to the locker room saying, what the hell just happened? Now we got to go out there and play an overtime game in a game that we should have won. But then you find a way to win, and that's exactly what happened. What happened last night, except reverse. Now Edmonton is the one that got to play spoiler. Can I point out something else that I'm really encouraged by with the Oilers too?
Yeah, let's do it.
So one of the big factors with this series, it's obvious. It's like, okay, if the Oilers are going to win, Connor McDavid needs to pop off. And you looked at last night, he really wasn't a huge Like, it wasn't like, oh, McDavid gave 3 of those goals and just had a 5-point masterful performance. Like, don't get me wrong, he made an impact out there. There was one where he once again put Ekblad on his ass and nearly beat Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky had to make an incredible pad save. But, like, McDavid had 1 secondary assist last night on a power play. Like, 1 secondary assist. He was a -1 for the game. So, like, Edmonton completed this comeback getting goals from Darnell Nurse, from Podkolzin, from Jesper Wallman, like from Nugent Hopkins. Like, it's all their depth guys that were the ones that were scoring, that were making plays. Like, that to me is the crazy part. And it should be super encouraging if you're the Oilers, where, holy shit, we were down 3-0. We came back to win 5-4 on the road against the defending champs. And it wasn't McDavid anywhere close to the heart of it. And now you're going to come back home. You have the momentum back, and I'm sure that you will get a much better performance out of your best player, and that's going to absolutely change the series dynamic again.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. They need guys. I mean, McDavid can't win the series by himself. You know, he certainly can win a game, and he still might, and he probably has several times already this series and in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But like, they need these other guys, and you're right. You named some of these guys that came up with big plays last night, and you know, in Florida, but that's what Florida has done all along, right? Like, they've had all sorts. Like, they have their dudes, but they also have had a ton of help. Probably going to come down to the Stars, though, in these final 3 games, don't you think? Like, I mean,
I think so. I would have to think so. I mean, certainly for the Edmonton side, for sure. But like, Florida had one of those games where they didn't get a ton of contributions from their second line, third line. It was 3 points from Kachuk. It was 3 points from Reinhart. It's from Barkov, like their best players.
Yeah.
So, what is damage here? Nurse's goal was the best shot I've seen him take. If Edmonton can continue to get meaningful offense from the blue line, they'll take the series. Yeah,
no, that was a great goal, and Wallman's goal was a rocket, absolute rocket goal. You know, he's not a huge goal scorer and got one last night. So, the Nurse, Wallman, because you're only going to, I mean, you're going to get a lot from Connor McDavid, but you're only going to, you know, you've got to have other guys step up. He said, we've yet to see a true Connor McDavid FU game in the series that's coming. Yeah. I mean, and one of the next 3, and all it takes now is 2. So Edmonton would surely love to see it. We would love to see it.
So I just look at the odds and the lines for Saturday's game. So they put the over-under at 6.5 again. We had 7 goals in game 1. We had 9 goals in game 2. We had 7 goals in game 3. We had 9 goals in game 4. Like, we're getting a lot of scoring here, and yet the over-under is sitting at 6.5 right now. Maybe we'll see a cleaned up defensive effort, but man, I don't know. I don't know. Like, the longer that the series goes, like, it's harder to play really like shut down, like, physical defense. Like, it's hard to win games that are like 2-1 at this point, just because you're so out of gas, and especially when you have like great players on the other side and power play opportunities. There's been a lot of power play opportunities on both sides, so I think we'll probably get another one of those like 5-4 type of games. That's what it feels like to me, and that's just how the series has been so far.
Yeah, I'd bet the over, although, you know, you get late in series and sometimes, you know, it the play could be a little cautious, you know, afraid to give up a turnover, afraid to, you know, throw the puck away, you know, where you get a 2-1, 3-2 type game. But yes, if I'm betting the total, I'm going over until they move that number. I do think they can get to 7, a 4-3 type game. So, I do like, I think you're right there.
All right. Should we talk some golf?
Yeah, let's do it.
U.S. Open. I feel like with all the talk about Oakmont, I didn't expect to see 10 guys under par after the first round. There's a lot of golf left, and you know, it's a good reminder that the course is going to get harder. Stuff's going to get a little bit firmer. Greens are going to get a little bit faster as the tournament goes on. So you have to consider that. But obviously, JJ Spawn, I think, is the huge surprise. Not only is he the leader, and like, JJ Spawn isn't a scrub. He's a top 25, 30 player in the world. he's not a scrub. He went to a playoff with Rory McIlroy in the Players Championship a couple months ago. Like, he's a good player. But I think to see him leading after day one and to do a bogey-free round on top of it was the biggest surprise for sure. I shouldn't be in hindsight, but I'm a little surprised that Brooks Koepka is in the conversation to win another major. I kind of wrote him off officially the last couple of years. Just seemed like he was like not in that form anymore. But that's exactly what Brooks Koepka wants you to think, apparently, as he's now sitting tied for third right now. He's 2 under, even par in the day. What surprised you so far, Rodney?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of nailed it there. I mean, we've seen guys that aren't gonna be factors, but I don't know as if we're overly surprised. But like, what is going on with Justin Thomas? Like, he's been terrible for several of these majors. Now, I did not play him this time through because I'm just so tired of him hurting our team. Justin Rose is another guy. Our buddy Skeeter was big on Sepp Straka. He's +8. He's not going to make it. So I just more looking at, okay, who's not going to be there Saturday, and then you can kind of hone in on who is going to, who is still threatening. Now, Ober got off to a good start. He's +2 and tied for 29th, which is Xander Schauffele, Jordan Spieth. But here we are. We're talking about all these guys, and you got Scotty Scheffler tied for 29th, 6 strokes back. Like, he hasn't tanked yet. He hasn't really put on his true performance, but like, he's through 5 holes today. Let's say he gets 2 back or a third one back and goes to even or 1 under for the round for the week so far. And then he's like 3 or 4 strokes back going into tomorrow. Like, you got to still take him, right? Like, he's, he could go -3 the next 2 days and win this tournament. So just keep an eye out for Scotty.
Yeah, I mean, if he's even par going into now, we'll see how the rest of the day plays out. But I would imagine if he's even par and he's within 3 strokes of the leader going into the weekend, he will be the betting favorite.
Yeah,
I would anticipate he's the betting favorite right now, despite being a few strokes back. I just think a lot of people are expecting like JJ Spawn to fall off. Like, JJ Spawn putted exceptionally well yesterday. He saved himself quite a bit. Chances are he's going to fall a little bit with the putter, just, new hole placements. Like, that's the reality of it. You have Tristan Lawrence, you have Ben Griffin, you have Siwoo Kim that are all leaderboard. Victor Hovland is 2 under on the day, so he's now top 5. And then you still got John Rahm in the mix, Sam Burns. Like, there are a lot of good players there, but we're going to see Oakmont show its teeth a little bit. And Scotty Scheffler might be one of the few guys that can overcome that.
Yeah, but no, I was gonna mention Hovland and Rahm, kind of both lingering around there, both guys that have been in situations like this. Hovland hasn't won a major, but been in situations like this. Colin Morikawa is there as well, so there's a lot of guys there. I'm really interested to see what Spawn does today, because like, I can see him going like 4 or 5 over today and falling back into the even range heading into the weekend. And now we've got because Thurston Lawrence isn't going to win this. Like, he's not winning this event. Siwoo Kim probably not winning.
Is it? Answer me. So you probably had it on yesterday. I was following as best as I could. Is it Tristan with an H or is it Thriston?
I mean, he's European. I'm gonna go Tristan. I don't know. I'll listen in today and see how they call it.
He's from South Africa.
Yeah. Okay. Well, not American.
Not European. Yeah. Not European. Not American. Okay. But like, I was just saying, I don't know what pisses me off more, if it's Tristan but with an H or if his name's Thriston. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, he's a 28-year-old from South Africa. I'll be honest, I never heard of him until yesterday. Never.
Well, he could win the U.S. Open, and then we have to deal with that.
He's not going to win the U.S. Open. That I'll go as far as saying he will not. Tristan Lawrence will not win the U.S. Open. You can hold me to that. But looking at our DraftKings lineup, we're not dead yet. Like, so reminder of our team, we have we have John Rahm. John Rahm's he's gonna make the cut. Barring disaster, he's gonna make the cut.
He's looking good,
right? Yeah. I'll skip one here. Tommy Fleetwood's +4. Like, what are we thinking? And right now tied for 58. So like, what is it? Top 60 in ties?
I was going to ask you what the cut line is. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Skeeter usually gives me that information. I ask him, and he has it in like 3 seconds. I don't know. Sometimes it's top 60, sometimes it's top 70. Look it up there as I'm talking, and we'll get to that. But,
yeah, it looks. It's top 60 in ties according to.
So Tommy obviously is going to have a better day. He's not going to be able to go +4, but that line's probably going to move. That looks like it's the cut line right now. We're still early on Friday. So what are we thinking? 6, right? Like, we're probably going to go like +6 or something to hit that cut line, unless people have terrific days today. I don't see that happening. But anyways,
because it's at 4. It's at 4 right now. So.
Yeah, so he's not dead. Russell Henley +2, gonna need another day like that or better, and we'll get him in. Sammy Burns, I'll chalk him in.
Good today.
Him and John Rahm are in. Again, barring disasters, but they're in. And then old Patty Reed is out on the course right now. He's also tied for 58. He's one where like you're gonna need to be a little bit better. You can't keep falling back.
He scares me, man. The dude got an albatross yesterday, pulled it in on his second shot on a par 5, right? Yeah. And yet still finished the day at 3 over par.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
That should terrify you. Like that to me indicates that he had one great hole and otherwise had a pretty bad round. So and he's 1 over so far through 4 holes or through 5 holes today. So I'm worried that Patrick Reed is gonna mess this up for us.
Yeah, he had
Patrick Cantlay, of course.
Yeah, well, I haven't got that. Yeah, I hadn't got the Patrick Cantlay yet. But so Patrick Reed, 11 pars, 3 birdies, 1 double eagle, 7 bogeys, and 1 worse than a double bogey. So like, he's all over the place. Now we will take his 13 points on the double eagle. We certainly will take his points. That he's got 23 DraftKings points for us. And then Patrick Cantlay, +6 yesterday. Like he's gonna need a par. He's gonna need an even or better round to give us a chance of getting 6 out of 6. He's one we got to watch today. That's about 12:30 local time, our time, Central Time, tee off. But I mean, we're not dead. I guess we can get to that. We're on Friday morning. We're not dead. If we can get 6 guys in, you never know. But that's our DraftKings team. You have any other teams that are doing any damage?
So my one other DraftKings team is Rahm and Fleetwood. I have Siwoo Kim, who right now is 2 under in 4th place. I have Keegan Bradley, who's 3 over right now, so projected to make the cut. However, right now I have Joaquin Niemann, who's at 5 over, so like fringe.
Yeah.
And then Shane Lowry, who just was miserable. And that's Shane Lowry had an eagle yesterday. He had no birdies. He had 9 pars. He had an eagle, 5 bogeys, and then 3 double bogeys.
Yeah. That's
he's not gonna make the cut. Shane Lowry would need to shoot like at worst 3 under today to have a chance.
So I do have one other team that I'll mention here. So I have John Rahm, Colin Morikawa, both tied for 8th right now, both currently on the course. I have Xander Schauffele, who's +2 after day 1. He tees off a little bit later this afternoon. He's tied for 28th. And then I have 3 guys. I have the Old Men crew, 3 guys tied for 57th right now at 4 over. One of them is Jason Day, who has went 2 under through 5 today. He's trying to bounce back. He's at 4% owned. Patty Reed, our buddy Patty Reed, he's obviously 1 over on the day. And then get this, my last guy, you know who the last guy is I have in this lineup. The Old Men crew at 1.27 owned. He's not going to make the cut, but Phil Mickelson.
You could stay away.
Yeah, I got him in one. But Phil. So this right now, if everything stopped right now, would be 6 out of 6. Schauffele, Rahm, Morikawa, Day, Reed. old man Phil.
Yeah, I have a FanDuel lineup that definitely is like one of those cheap lineups at a free entry for it, which right now is could be a 6 for 6. I have Scheffler and Rum. So obviously Scotty needs to make some cuts here. But I have Scheffler, Rom, Siwoo Kim, Keegan Bradley, who's also that's 3 over, Bud Cauley, who's at 2 over right now.
Okay.
And then Ryan Gerard, who's also at 2 over. So no disasters, but I guess Siwoo Kim and John Rahm are sort of in that mix right now, but no disasters. So we'll keep an eye out for there.
I feel like Keegan Bradley was all over the place yesterday. In fact, I'm looking at his scorecard. Bogey, birdie, bogey, bogey, par, birdie, bogey. That was his first 7 holes. And then par, bogey, bogey, par, birdie, par, bogey, birdie, par. So, not a lot of pars out there. It was either birdie or bogey. Keegan Bradley was all over the place. That's the roller coaster ride that you signed up with Keegan Bradley.
It's quite the adventure, honestly.
Anyways, that's our lineups for today. One more thing I want to talk about. We didn't even talk about this Tuesday. I'm not even sure when it hit. Did it hit Tuesday night? Wednesday? I don't remember.
About what?
Aaron Rodgers. We did not break the news of 3 days old. Aaron Rodgers is now back in the NFL. I think I mentioned he was going to retire. So
I think he signed with the Steelers last week. No, it was Friday. It was like a Friday news dump. Because it was it was the day that Trump and Elon were having their little Twitter fight.
Yeah.
It was that day where Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers. And then he was he reported to camp this week. I thought you were going to say talk about Aaron Rodgers just randomly dropping the news that he's married, even though no one knew that he was even in a relationship.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But by the way, didn't Elon backtrack and apologize?
He said he regrets some of the tweets that he said. In other words, he was told that they would deport him unless he walked back some of his tweets.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought.
Things are going great right now. Where there's so much winning happening.
Anyways, Aaron Rodgers, but we didn't even talk about it Tuesday or Friday. Aaron Rodgers now back in the NFL. Congratulations, Aaron.
At first I was like, this does nothing for me. And then I was thinking, from a football perspective, all Mike Tomlin really wants from his quarterback position at this point is just someone who will play it safe, not turn the ball over, and just sort of keep things in check. Aaron Rodgers famously doesn't, throw horrible interceptions. He's not at the point where he's a super aggressive quarterback.
Right.
I think that this still keeps them right in line with that 9-win goal that they want to have, where they sneak into the playoffs and get their ass handed to them in the first round. I think that they're looking perfectly headed toward that goal with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. One more thing in the NFL I want to talk about. I think this is hilarious, and I'm changing the subject with Aaron Rodgers because that's really all the talk I wanted on Aaron Rodgers is 10 seconds. Because Pat McAfee loves the guy. We're going to go the opposite. We're going to go the opposite route. But anyways, so I love this. DraftKings on Facebook posted 11 hours ago, and this came from ESPN Cleveland. They put the Cleveland Browns battle for starting quarterback has been a great one. And they posted stats from minicamp. And what are we doing posting stats from minicamp? Because these minicamps are going to have various rules. You got different guys not playing. You got guys trying different spots. They've got Shadir Sanders, 41 of 53 for 9 touchdowns and an interception. They've got Flacco, 18 of 35, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Pickett, 38 of 63, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Dylan Gabriel, 48 of 83 for 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. What are they trying to do there? We all know how this minicamp goes. They're not playing the right defense on you. What are we doing here?
They're not hitting you. There's no tackling. You're not facing your first team defense. Yeah, and they're blowing the whistle dead right after someone catches it.
Right.
I don't know, man. I've heard so much talk about how amazing Shadir Sanders looks in camp. And all I'm thinking is like, how come we aren't acknowledging the fact that he's going into camp as like the 4th or 5th quarterback on their depth chart?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna be comfortable behind center when you know you're not getting hit, right? Like,
yeah,
you know you're not getting rushed, right? Or like you've got your progressions that you can get to. Like, let's see this when there's grown dudes flying at you with the chance of taking your legs out, and let's see if this. I know this is how media works. I know they're building up the excitement, and that's what you got to do in June for the NFL. I get it, but like, this cracks me up because these numbers show 26 touchdowns to 1 interception. Good work, Browns. I mean, at that pace, you're the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Like, that would be tremendous quarterbacking for you. It is just hilarious to me. 26 touchdowns. Joe Flacco must be sitting out a little bit because he's only throwing 35 passes.
Yeah, must be. Because, he's preparing for when he actually is playing quarterback in real football games in a couple months.
Yeah.
That's such a stupid story. Thank you for bringing that up. That's so dumb. So dumb how that's handled.
Let's go ahead and get to our Mount Rushmore 74. And before we do, like, this is both of us living within a mile and a half of the Interstate 74. This is a big one for us, right? Like, this is this is a nice number, but I think you brought it up, and you can talk about Dan's comment before we get to that. 74. Thank you, TJ Oshie, for all your contributions to the National Hockey League. You are currently the first face on that Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Dan, real quick. Someone posted a video of Rodgers throwing in slow motion. It's at a Steelers practice, and it looks straight out of a Cialis commercial.
That's funny.
He's old. He's old. He looks old. He is old. He's old.
He is old. He's old.
TJ Oshie recently retired. And that news came on Tuesday because we had talked about it. I threw it out there near the end of our show. TJ Oshie, I'm not even trying to be like, oh, I'm going to hand Ronnie one here. I think TJ Oshie does deserve a spot on the 74 Mount Rushmore. Like, he is not only was he a great player for the St. Louis Blues, for the Washington Capitals, but also as one of the most famous international hockey moments ever in his shootout performance. 3 goals. Were those against Sergei Bobrovsky too, if I remember correctly? Because it was against Russia.
Yeah, it might have been. Dan could probably confirm that one, but I think it was.
I probably should, because I watched the game with Dan. It was when we were interning at NBC and we were in the control room. I think it was Bobrovsky. I'm waiting for him to confirm, but yeah, it was it was one of the most famous U.S. hockey moments ever. So yeah, TJ Oshie, absolutely.
Yeah, they were.
Get a spot. Get a spot on the Rushmore.
Even if TJ was not with the St. Louis Blues for that period of time, and that was his career with another, I'd be certainly okay with it. Mostly because of his international presence there. Let me move. I'll move to baseball. I know that's one that you typically like to handle, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw Kenley Jansen. Can put his face on there. 16 years and a 22 WAR in his career. I mean, if you're going to put a baseball guy, it's got to be Kenley Jansen, because he wore it for 16 years. Really, Eloy Jimenez is another guy. He's not going to go on this one yet, I don't think, but he's had it 6 years with the White Sox. Joe Nathan wore it 1 year with the Giants and had a 26.7 WAR that year. So I'll go Kenley Jansen and TJ Oshie.
Felix Bautista of the Orioles currently wears it.
Yep. I'm not ready to put him on there yet. I'm going to go Oshie and Jansen so far before we move to there's no NBA. We can cross that one off.
There's no NBA for 74 or for 75.
Okay.
So we got to wait until 76 before we even get back to the NBA. Now, here's the pickle that we find ourselves in. Now, I understand that technically Kenley Jansen probably does deserve a spot on the Rushmore. I understand this. That said, there's 2 other really good hockey players that are currently playing right now that are wearing number 74, but there's also a really strong NFL one. So let me tell you the hockey guys first. The 2 guys that are 74, we have TJ Oshie, or sorry, not TJ Oshie. We have UC Saros, the goalie for the Nashville Predators, and John Carlson, longtime defenseman for the Washington Capitals. Technically, both those guys have been wearing 74 also longer than TJ Oshie was wearing 74, because he only wore it for the Blues. He didn't wear it after he left the Blues. but we're giving him a little bit of extra love because of his performance in the Olympics. But those are the two hockey guys, Carlson and UC Saros. The NFL, obviously, you got a lot of linemen, things like that. But the one real standout is Bruce Matthews, the longtime offensive lineman, a Hall of Famer, 14-time Pro Bowler, who is part of the Matthews family. I think it's uncle of Clay Matthews, Jake Matthews' father, like just one of those Matthews. There's a zillion of them, but longtime Houston Oiler, Tennessee Titan. So Bruce Matthews would be the NFL inclusion. So how do we want to approach this here? What are we thinking? Did I lose you? I think you're back now. Oh, Rodney's gone off. He's a lost connection. That's all right. He's come back. He's thinking. He's taking all of the time that he needs to think about this question. He's got John Carlson, you got UC Saros, you have Bruce Matthews. He's getting connected. You all right there?
I'm good. Internet, man. I don't know if was it mine or yours this time.
I don't know, man. I was here. Here. You have a second. You have a second person now. Look, we have this third Rodney who's still loading somehow. So I don't know.
Get that one off here. Anyway, so where are we at here? TJ's on there. What was your recommendation?
The recommendation was Bruce Matthews, one of the zillion Matthews family, 14-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer, Tennessee Oiler. He's by far and away the best NFL player to wear 74. The question is, do we think that he deserves a spot ahead of UC Saros or John Carlson?
I'd probably put Carlson in front of Saros. No?
I'm good with that. Like, Carlson's won a cup.
So you're going Oshie, Carlson, Matthews, Jansen?
I mean, if it was up to me, I wouldn't put Kenley Jansen on there just because I don't want this Dodgers filth on my Rushmore. But I understand, I get it. I have to be realistic.
I mean, we're professional. We're a professional show here. Yeah, you got to be professional and put the right guys on here.
Yeah, no, I get that. So I would say, Jansen, Oshie, Matthews, and John Carlson. Yeah. UC Saros is the honorable mention. Win a cup, man. If you were so good, the Predators wouldn't constantly be drafting like these high-end goaltending prospects to come and try to replace you.
Yeah. So. No, I think you're right. I like that group, and it's a fairly strong group, right? Like, well, I mean, we knew it would be. We knew 74 because it's a little bit more popular than some of the others, but no, it's a strong group for the 70s. Until we get to the 80s, it's going to be the strongest we've had.
Yeah, I mean, I could see 77 being pretty good. But 75, there's not a single person that comes to mind for me. So that'll be fun.
Not one. Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, let's wrap it up for the day. I know we both got business to take care of today. So good luck to the rest of our DraftKings team in the US Open. Hopefully Tuesday we're talking about our cash. While you're doing so, sign up for our Substack. We're still right around even for the month. It hasn't been a super month yet. 0.55 units behind on the month, 28 and 25, but we're 31 units ahead for the year. Today's picks, I got the Thunder. I don't know if I love it, but I got the Thunder. I know I said earlier Pacers, but I'm going to go Thunder here, go a little contrarian. I got a couple WNBA games. I'm betting against my Cardinals today because they stink right now. I'm taking Paul Skeens to beat Cade Horton at Wrigley this afternoon. And then the Dodgers, Yamamoto's at home tonight, taking on the Giants. So that's
all these Paul Skeens starts. He's had 11 straight starts where it's he's gone at least 7 innings and 9 Ks. He's allowed 2 runs in his last 35 innings as the Pirates have lost all but one of them. It's That's literally
not good.
Man. Like, he has how many wins does he have actually this year? Like, what is his official record?
Paul Skeens is 4-6 with a 1.88.
Like, what the hell, man? Like, what are we doing here?
He can't get out of Pittsburgh fast enough. 4-6 with a 1.88.
I have such a weird feeling, and I might be a hypocrite for this because I don't love when teams and the small market teams end up with a great player and then just like, oh, you have to trade him, right? It's like, that sucks. Like, I feel like the owner should like pony up, but like Paul Skeens is one of those guys where I just like, I feel so bad that he's just in Pittsburgh right now, just suffering with this. It's like, I really want him to go somewhere. Yeah. That's not the Dodgers.
It's going to be the Dodgers.
It does feel like it, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's going to be the Dodgers. I don't know. I don't know if I see him in the Yankees or not. I don't know if him and Livy want to go to New York, but yeah. So
what do you mean? You're not sure if they want to go to New York? Who wouldn't want to go to New York? Like,
I mean, yeah, a lot of people probably. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, not X, Stupid Sports Show, no W on the end. And we are right up against the 1 hour. So we'll wrap it up for the day and be back Tuesday night. We probably will not have a champion in either league yet Tuesday night. We may start seeing, I don't know. What's the schedule look like?
If Indiana wins tonight and takes a 3-1 lead, I believe Game 5 would be Monday.
Yeah, it is. It is Monday. So
if Indiana wins Game 4, they could close it out on Friday. NHL, however, we will get at least a Game 6, which will be Tuesday night, actually, while we're doing the show.
Ooh, live from Game 6. We should fly to Sunrise and do the show. We'll fly to Sunrise and do
the Cup. The Cup will be in attendance. Game 6.
Yeah,
Tuesday night.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah,
Sunrise is a good place to be too. As you mentioned, it's named Sunrise. It's a good place to go.
How could it not be? How could it not be the place to be? Other than the fact that it's basically underwater.
Yeah, like 120 degrees.
Yeah. Other than that, though, it's great. All right. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. We got NBA, NHL, U.S. Open, baseball, fun times. We'll be back Tuesday nights to recap all of it. But, yeah, have a great weekend. Rodney, have a great weekend. For him, I am Tim L.T. Van Stratton, and we are signing off for another edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. See you guys.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newbold and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.